Just when you think things can't get worse, they get much, much worse. That is a common theme with Hollywood, Disney, and wokeness. And here we are with the star of The Acolyte at the height of the controversy and negativity surrounding The Acolyte. The star of that show decides to drop a diss track on Star Wars fans. I can't believe this is real, but it is. We covered this earlier on Geeks and Gamers Daily, and I am astonished that this is a real video, but it is, and we're going to cover it right here because it is too damn hilarious to not point out. The Acolyte right now is sitting at a 14% audience score. Everyone is making fun of this show. Everyone, whether you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, whether you're a casual Star Wars fan, whether you're just a normie watching the series, everyone, generally speaking, can agree that this show is terrible. It's terrible in every single way possible. And it has unified the Star Wars fan base to a level that we have not seen up to this point in time. And in the middle of all of that, the actress, the same actress that talked about how this is the gayest Star Wars ever and all nerds are gay and all of this stuff, her and Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, sitting there talking about all of this stuff, the controversy getting worse and worse, and she decides that this was a good idea. And the executives at Lucasfilm thought this was a good idea. And the only person that this is going to benefit are people like me that are on YouTube that are going to roast it, and my fellow creators out there, because we are having a field day on stuff like this. I can't believe that they did this. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the most cringeworthy thing you are going to see in a long, long time. I am not overselling it at all. Let's just go ahead and jump right into this.
I'm going viral on Twitter again. Open up the news to find some interesting things. 29 views in a view from 2018 with Trevor the King. When I was a teen, I was running films.
Okay, so to give a little perspective on this, she's talking about an interview that she had with Trevor Noah on The Daily Show, and it was a clip where she was basically saying that the goal was to make white people cry or something to that effect, and that was kind of recirculated and presented that she was actually talking about Star Wars fans when that was not the case. And we here at Geeks and Gamers on the live stream, after we found out, because it was circulating, and so after we found out that that was not the case, we said to our audience, hey, that's not the case. This is an old interview. She's not talking about Star Wars fans. We actually did correct that. But she's really mad about, that getting clipped out of context. Welcome to the internet. But also, when you say things like that, I mean, yeah, you can say things that are a joke or you mean them in a different way, but she clearly feels this way because there's more than a few comments where she has talked just like this.
City to speak on the story, you know the one. Oh, you smell like a black boy. Yeah, my people cried in the theaters, find it releasing. White people cried, they could see us as human beings. Trevor asked what I want the people to know. I said, white people cry, what's the goal? If they could take one thing, what would it be? I say empathy. Oh, that's why they mad at me. They splice lines, make hate, they recognize, make it look like the same propaganda they spew. Cause they conflate our pain with violence.
God, this is so bad. This is like the third time I've had to sit through this song now. And it gets worse and worse and worse every single time. But ultimately, if you watch the clip that we're talking about with her, there was no, it was meant, they were laughing it off. Like, ha, 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 white people crying, ha, 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 ha. But now she's claiming that because of racism, that's why she's being clipped out of context. Because I've never been clipped out of context. No other person, no other white person or white male has ever been clipped out of context. It's only her and minorities that are being clipped out of context. My white privilege doesn't allow me to get clipped out of context, apparently.
And try to weaponize everything that we do. The The desperation of oppressors is rising, and now they holding on to any old thing they can use. If you rely upon misinformation, and that tells me you afraid of the truth, huh? We so bored of fucking drug discourse. We so bored of fucking drug discourse. We so bored of fucking drug discourse. We so bored.
So yeah, it kind of sounds like that she's trying to build a narrative that this is only being used against her because she's a woman of color. Yeah. President Trump's never been clipped out of context. Never happened. And no, I'm not just saying it's him. But point being is that it's not specific to a race or a gender or an ideology or any of that. That's the internet. It doesn't make it right, but it's part of it. But when you try to sit there and act like it's only because of X, Y, or Z, it's 100% bullshit.
And now you're listening, I'm gonna tell you something fascinating. They spin and woke, bastardize it and appropriate it. Let's not get caught, woke with something we created. Speak truth to power, keep an eye out for you silly racists. And now they use it to describe anything they threaten by. Remember when Gambino put it in the zeitgeist? It was all about the people recognizing bigotry, the power of community, not fodder for your clickbait. Speaking of which, journalists, I'm looking at you. Did you forget it's your job to provide?
You journalist? Well, I'm not a journalist, but I am someone that, you know, can say that I did my part to correct that your clip was being played out of context, and many others did as well once we became aware of it. Can't say the same for the opposite side of the aisle on the political landscape. They don't ever like to correct when they share things out of context. Never happens that way. Pretty interesting how that never happens. But, you know, you're calling out the media. And, again, Amanda Stenberg is the definition of privilege. She is privilege. She's had privilege her entire life. But she's now playing a fake victim because this is and of course, this is what they do at Disney Star Wars, where if they're facing criticism or if the show is getting a massive amount of backlash, like Reva in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. You remember what happened with that when Ewan McGregor comes out there with his car video and basically starts saying all Star Wars fans are racist if they're criticizing Reva. Well, Reva had a failed lightsaber campaign too on Hasbro. What happened there? Where were all the brave and stunning fans of Reva? It's almost like there were no fans of Reva because no one cared about the character because it was a terribly written character. It had nothing to do with her race or her gender. But you know what did have to do with her race and her gender? The casting and the creation of the character, which is the only reason Lucasfilm creates these roles, is for identity politics purposes. And when a character or a person is cast in a role simply for identity politics, the audience is not going to like it because it's not there to benefit the story. It's there to benefit the agenda. So people are rejecting the idea, not the individual. They're rejecting the idea when they reject this type of stuff.
The truth, spreading divisiveness, mining the metrics and data. Seem you gave up all your efforts, your money and views. And I can tell that the people are tired and the kids don't trust anything that they do. We can learn something from them discerning. The future's coming and it's always the youth.
It's so bad. It's so bad. The way she delivers her lines. Again, we used to be a proper civilization with Tupac, with a proper diss track, a proper diss track from Eminem back in the day when Eminem was actually cool. His Hail Mary homage to Tupac, where him and Busta Rhymes and 50 Cent are dissing Ja Rule. That's a proper diss track. Hit 'em up, Tupac, proper diss track. This would have been nice if it would have been actually good. I would have been honored as a Star Wars fan to get a proper diss track. This is pathetic. This is sad and pathetic. There's nothing redeeming about this except for the views that everybody's going to get by roasting it. What? I was going to ask, who thought this was a good idea? The people that think that the Acolyte's a good idea. That's who. That's who thinks this is a good idea. The people that thought the Acolyte was a good idea.
Don't let it get to my spirit, but I'm sick and fucking tired of suppressing my rage. 400 years of taking the bullshit to compartmentalize that my ancestors had to encage. If you don't confront the pain that you live with, it don't manifest as addiction, diseases, and hate. I've seen the infection repression can give you. I'm not gonna be the next one sent to an early grave.
That's the end. It's just another 30 seconds of B-roll footage, basically. But this is where we are. This is amazing. I can't believe that the decision to release this was made, but it was. Someone, her, and the people around her decided this was a good idea. This was going to own those chuds. This is going to destroy those racist fans out there that are criticizing you. And the narrative that fans are racist is such a stupid narrative. And this is why it continues to fall flat every time they try to push this nonsense. As I said, just a few days ago, during the Nintendo Direct, we got an announcement of 2 games that had female leads in them. Metroid Prime 4, which we were expecting, obviously, with Samus, one of the greatest video game characters of all time. And then you got a new Legend of Zelda, where Zelda is finally the lead character in the series. Link gets captured, so Link's not going to be available. So Zelda's going to be at the forefront, and everyone's excited about it. Why? Because it benefits the story, and it makes sense within the story. Samus has been around forever. People like Samus because she's an awesome character, and she's never been defined off of her gender or her identity. Same with Zelda. It's never been defined off of her gender. That's what people are sick and tired of. When you are focusing solely on these things and you are compromising the story, which is what the Acolyte has done. It has brought Star Wars fans together at a level we have never seen. The people involved with the project, Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Amanda Listenberg, and everyone else involved, they have turned off the audience. You heard all the interviews at Star Wars Celebration and how out of touch with reality they were, how they didn't understand Star Wars. And people have rejected this to a level that we have not seen. And this only makes it worse. And I am here for it, laughing all the way, watching the views skyrocket, watching people continue to jump off the sinking ship that is Disney Star Wars, which is 100% dead. There's nothing that's going to redeem Star Wars at this point in time. Nothing. It's not coming back. As I said on Geeks Gamers Daily today, Kathleen Kennedy has her agenda. She has people that work for her that are going to carry out her agenda, just like it was with George when George was there. And I loved George Lucas's Star Wars. Everybody there operated under George Lucas's vision. Same thing's happening with Kathleen Kennedy. Dave Filoni ain't going to save you. John Favreau's not going to save you. Nobody's going to save you because this is Kathleen Kennedy Star Wars. The Force is female, and this is the result of it right here. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.